was brief. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Uphold, the absolutely best digital asset platform. For more information, go to uphold.com. We are talking today to Skale Network. Welcome, Fabio.
Thank you.
Greeting
Welcome,
from
everyone.
one cold city to another cold city. You are in Switzerland somewhere, right?
Well, right now I'm on the other side of the world, but soon,
Oh my
soon
God,
I'll be back. Yeah.
Where are
Right
you?
now I'm in San Francisco. Right
Oh,
now.
I had no idea. So it's very early in the morning. Thank you for getting up that
Yeah,
early.
7 a.m.
Perfect time to do a
All
webinar
good.
with us.
Yeah, perfect time. All
All right,
fresh.
Fabio, let's get started.
Awesome.
Just imagine for a second that I had absolutely no idea what Scale is, which is more or less true. I didn't do my homework. It's a very busy time around Christmas. Please,
Fair.
what is Scale? What is it all about? How did it?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Scale is a EVM compatible Ethereum virtual machine compatible scalability solution. I mean, it's already kind of in its name. It allows applications to have their own depth-specific blockchain. So you can think of it like a layer 2. You can think of it like a layer 1 plus solution, and it is a solution, a whole multi-chain network, which allows all applications and all users having zero gas transactions, zero minting fees, zero transaction fees on that specific Scale chain, on that specific depth chain, but within the whole Scale network. So it's kind of Ethereum as a base layer and the Scale chains on top of that. We have our own bridge, which bridges from Ethereum mainnet to all those different Scale chains, but also within the Scale network from one Scale chain to another Scale chain. So it's literally, simply put, it's a depth-specific scalability solution.
Okay, but you're not running on Ethereum, so you're not paying anything to Ethereum.
Well, so that's
your
a difference.
Own block, right? So
we're kind of an own blockchain, but all the nodes which run those Scale chains, they are on Ethereum. So if we spin up, or if applications spin up their own Scale chains, they need to pay mainnet fees, so Ethereum mainnet fees. So we give back to Ethereum as well. Actually, all the staking happens on ETH mainnet. So Scale token itself lives on ETH mainnet and not within the Scale network. Because there is a fuel token, like a gas token involved within the whole Scaleverse, Scale network. But that Scale token, that S fuel token, it's called S fuel for Scale fuel, has zero value. So it's here to prevent DDoS attacks, for example, and is distributed in a limited amount to all the users using the Scale network and those specific applications building on Scale. So and the Scale
as
token
a user of Scale, I'm not paying anything.
Exactly.
But you are paying something to Ethereum.
The Scale network and all
it doesn't sound like a good business proposition for you. How do you make your money?
I mean, we as Scale, there is it's called the Network of Decentralized Economics Foundation. That's based in Liechtenstein. That's a non-for-profit foundation. So there is no earnings or income for that foundation. For the Scale network, and on the other side, every application needs to pay their own Scale chains. It's kind of like a Web 2 approach, like a AWS or Google Cloud Service approach. It's like a subscription model. So you use an application, you need to pay your Scale chain with Scale tokens to activate those that specific Scale chain, and those Scale tokens you pay as an application to the network. That those Scale tokens get distributed to the validators as rewards, and then again validators distribute it back to, like, as staking rewards back to the alligators. So it's one whole kind of circle token flow, so to say, tokenomics.
Got it. So who is building what on Scale? There are some real use cases.
Yeah, so just to give you kind of an update on that side. So Scale's been around since 2018. So Scale Labs was founded in 2018 back in San Francisco. Both co-founder Jacko Horan and Stan Klacko, they met in 2017, set up the company. They put their brains together, set up the company. Then 2019, the foundation was founded in Liechtenstein, and 2020, end of 2020, actually 1st October, the the token was issued. So there was a token sale through Consensus Activate Launchpad. So it's fully compliant token sale, fully KYC'd, and AML token sale. And token was issued. It was from the beginning a utility token, given you needed to stake it. So there was the utility secured network. And then it was June this year actually, Skale went live with Skale V2, which allowed all the kind of the full set of possibilities to all the applications. So applications could build on top of it, and actually could also move funds from one scale chain to another. And since then, we've seen insane growth. In June alone, there were a few thousand transactions. Nowadays, we are over 30 million transactions. We do have some major applications on Skale, which have a lot of transactions, millions transactions per week actually. Currently, I would say gaming is really strong on Skale, given the gas-free environment, right? So you as a gamer, as a user, you can actually play Web3 games without paying any gas fees, which is obviously very beneficial if you want to play games where you automatically mint tokens in the background, etc. So there's instant finality on your chain, which allows you super smooth gaming experience. And as a gamer, that's what you want. We do have, for example, CryptoBlades Live. They have over 1 million transactions, and they have thousands of active users. And that's one good use case to show what Skale can do actually. And if people want to test it out, I mean, we have with different applications live. There's like Ruby Exchange, which is AMM, which allows also like trading with zero gas fees, which is, I think, pretty cool. Yeah.
Is gaming the biggest part of applications right now?
I would say right now it is, but there are other applications. There are data analytics applications like XArt, for example. They actually they used to have 5 million transactions plus per month, so they moved to a testnet environment again, and now they're moving back to mainnet, and they will have millions of transactions, probably even per day. And they are actually taking a lot of they have a lot of throughput through their own chain. So they have their own chain. And imagine having like 5 million transactions on ETH mainnet, or even on another layer 2 solution, and sharing that with all other applications building on that. And the beauty of Skale is that application, for example, it's called XArt. It's a great team, and they have their own Skale chain, own throughput, and all the other applications within the Skale network using other Skale chains. They don't care about that. Like if XArt has 10 million transactions per day or per week, they still have their own throughput on their own specific Skale chain.
Forgive me. Ethereum is going through a big transition right now. We've heard about the splurge, the merge, the splurge, the purge, whatever is coming, right? So what are you going to survive? What is preventing Ethereum from taking over, emulating your business model? I mean, ultimately, Ethereum has to change if there are so many competitors offering gas fee or faster or more scalable alternatives. So where's your edge? What is your unique advantage here?
Yeah, so I think one of our advantages is that we support Ethereum. We are not taking any value, we don't suck any value out of Ethereum. Given our structure, like architecture, with the node being built on top of Ethereum, like whole network, they still earn out of Skale, because all the staking rewards happens on Ethereum, or the staking, the delegations, all that happens on Ethereum, spinning up a Skale chain. Like all the nodes run on Ethereum. So that gives Ethereum value back. And we saw it with ETH 2.0, how long it takes just to transition to a new structure, to new from proof of work to proof of stake. And I think if they want to upgrade the network again, it will take years, if it would even possible. And again, we're here to support the Ethereum network, and that's also why we're built on top of Ethereum, because we know where all the developers are. And without developers, I mean, there's no product, and without product, there is no users being able to use any applications. So compared to others,
you make a very good point that people, and especially critics of Ethereum, often overlook is the sheer size of Ethereum.
Oh yeah,
And
I mean,
anyone getting into blockchain and learning how to code, the first thing they do is they learn Solidity and to deal with Ethereum. So it
correct.
is an absolute advantage, size in this case, and it has a first mover advantage, and it's big. And I too am convinced that they're here to stay if they change over the next few years and adapt. And I do believe in Vitalik's vision and his brain to allow Ethereum to transform itself in some kind of. How do you see Ethereum as an operating system of the world, of the economy? What would you call it once it's grown up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I think that's actually quite a good explanation. I could see it. I mean, it's hard to tell, right? But so far, I mean, everyone was like, oh, 2017 with like network overload, like CryptoKitties went live and like everything exploded, and everyone was like, oh, it's Ethereum is dead, and then like everything else changed. Like then DeFi came, scalability solutions came, like layer two solutions came, and I think nowadays, like I would call Scale almost like a next gen scalability solution given the architecture compared to others with even though they have a layer two solution, it's still like, I mean, you could see it on other I won't name any infrastructure project, but you could see like transactions, they got super slow and expensive as well, so up to almost $1 or let's say close to $1 transaction fees, depends on what you deployed on it, if it's a smart contract or if it's more expensive. So um, it an Ethereum in the background is just what runs the network. Yeah, it's kind of that decentralized intranet, and we obviously want to build on top of that. We want to build there where developers are. That's what we stand for. So also even before Scale went live with V2, we were focusing fully on not fully, but mostly on developers, because that's what we see ourselves as a tech company, not just a project building something. We're literally running business, so to say. So I'm part of the foundation, but the Scale Labs team, which is the labs of Scale, which is kind of an outsourced entity, they are supporting the network, and foundation supports them and all the other applications.
It may be a bit early to ask since you basically got started this year, which, by the way, congratulations for still being around after 2020.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy, and we have great backers like VCs and early supporters, big names in it, and that definitely helps. And we have a runway of 1.5 to 2 years, so we're doing well on that side. We were conservative with our treasury. So on the foundation side, we haven't been involved in any of like the latest, let's say, debacles with FTX or with Alameda or with whatever Genesis, you name it. Our treasury was always super conservative, and nowadays I think, we're happy that we didn't do anything with those players.
So they hired the Swiss because the Swiss are good with money, right?
Yeah, maybe. I leave that up to the community, I guess.
I want to go back to two things. You mentioned that Scale has transaction finality, immediate, instant finality. Is it real? Because Ethereum often claims to have, certain Ethereum projects claim to have finality while they actually don't. But you do. How do you achieve that? I mean, for example, Algorand runs around telling people they are the only blockchain in the world with instant finality.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a difference? Is it true? Is it not true?
It is true that there is instant finality within the Scale network. So on your own Scale chain, obviously, if you move funds from ETH mainnets to bridge it over to Scale, it's not instant, but that's on more on the Ethereum side, vice versa as well. But if you're within the on your Scale chain, for example, you can. I mean, if you want to try out an application building on us, I mean, on Scale.space, we have all the partners listed. Like CryptoBlade, for example, it's a great example of how smooth everything runs. And we actually that's one of our USP as well. So when it comes to gaming, for example, again, as I've mentioned earlier, that's just comparable to other solutions. If you actually have instant finality, you as a user, you have those values and those, let's say, tokens or NFTs, whatever. You have that in your wallet and it's done. It's not like something could be changed. Like as you've mentioned, auto claim, they have instant or almost instant finality, but still sometimes you need to wait minutes or hours to get it done. And something could still change, and especially in a game. Imagine if you like played something and then you won, and someone trade changes afterwards, or something would happen afterwards, even after a minute or whatever. And the whole game is kind of fake, right? There is no real value then in that. And obviously, if you have instant finality, you get it and it's done. Transactions are final.
It's very interesting. I've always said that the only blockchains that are going to survive is the ones that eliminate the time lag. So taking minutes, seconds for transactions to happen is just not acceptable for most applications. Fully agree. Back to the gaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just learned about a month ago that finality is important for gaming. Why do you think blockchain and gaming go so well together? I mean, if you had asked me a year ago, I would not have said gaming is a perfect application for blockchain. Why do you think it is?
I mean, I think there are kind of two views. Like there are like the hardcore gamers. They don't care about crypto or blockchain at all, but they just heard about, maybe like from some friends, oh, there's like all that speculation going on, and you need to buy tokens to run a game, whatever, which is, in my opinion, as well nonsense. Why should a user or a gamer pay any fees to just play something? Like any fees, any network fees. Imagine you play whatever, a PlayStation 5, and you would need to upload a wallet first to just start a game or just play at something. That doesn't make any sense. And when it comes to on the other side, on the crypto side, on the Web3 side aspect of things, on gaming, I mean, there's just a lot of value you can have. I mean, you as a game, you can create, like, your users or your gamers can create avatars. Those avatars can be traded afterwards. So let me show you. Let me explain, or kind of tell you a use case on Scale, for example. A great use case. Relatively simple, not simple. I think it's a simple example. So you are a game. You have your own Scale chain. You deploy that game on that Scale chain. Your users can create an avatar, can mint an NFT. That avatar is an NFT, could be changeable. Scale has an on-chain file storage solution, so it's literally that file would be stored on chain. So you as a user use your avatar as an NFT. You can play with that. You can play your game with that. In your game, you might have let's say a shooter game. You have your own weapons there. You can collect weapons, mint that NFT. You get ammunition, you mint that NFT. If you run out of ammunition, you burn that NFT. If you win a game, obviously you might have an in-game token. You get the rewards, and all those transactions, they can happen on Scale. Then on the other side, the beauty of it is, you as a user, you might have a wallet. Well, you should have a wallet, and that wallet has then your NFT in it, and let's say some in-game rewards you got. And on the other side, there might be a pairing on a DEX on Scale, and you can move those tokens, or you can trade then to your in-game rewards directly on that exchange, and you can trade them there all without any fees. So you can move around those tokens in the whole network. Which is pretty cool. I mean, again, we went live in June, but all those things are right now happening on Scale and being built on Scale. Also, your NFT, you might have your avatar, you might want to rent it out. So we have Renfter as a partner. So it's an NFT rental protocol, partnering up with Scale. So you can actually rent different avatars if you want to have, or if you, for example, want to play another game which needs another NFT, you can first rent it just to try it out. And if you're interested, you can buy an NFT. You can do that with Renfter. You can actually sell or trade NFTs on our market NFT, like NFT Trade. That's one of the NFT market hubs. So you could trade your avatar on that marketplace, on that NFT Trade marketplace, and then kind of you can that whole ecosystem, which allows you to have kind of free transactions. It's just like making everything just much smoother, and the user experience is much better. And back in the days, I think, like because you've mentioned a year ago, and I fully agree. I mean, why would you want to pay, I don't know, $50 just to mint an NFT? Pay for it probably $500. I mean, how expensive an NFT is, that's something else, anyways. But why would you want to pay just minting fees for that, and then move it around, and then you might want to sell it, and all that on Scale, for example, is one ecosystem which allows you to have all that for free.
Leaving gaming behind, what's the next step? What is your vision for Scale? How do you see?
We see ourselves as a Web3 cloud storage. So basically, the ideal solution is that applications built on top of Scale, that those applications are users that don't even know that they're actually using an application being built on blockchain. So that's kind of the ultimate goal, right? And right now, I think many applications.
We always said that for technology to become useful, it has to disappear, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what we try to solve, that issue. What we try to solve with that architecture we've built so far, and with all the updates coming as well. So we try to make that whole process, and at the end, it's all about user experience. I mean, you can see, like, I don't know, other infrastructure projects, they announce that they have 30,000 plus applications live. I have never seen 30,000 plus Web3 applications at all. And if you check the stats of those infrastructure projects, I mean, they have maybe a handful or maybe 10 applications which actually have active users using a Web3 application. And it's all about marketing there. And they might have partnerships. We all know how much money some projects raised during the last bull cycle or earlier, and they're spending most of that and paying applications to build on top of their solution, but users won't use it because it's just no user experience there. And that's what we try to solve. Again, we're not here to make it more complicated. We're here to solve that user experience issue, which I think Web3 still has. But we're here to solve that.
What are you focused on internally right now at Scale?
My position, or in general as on the tech side?
The whole company, the whole project.
So right now, I mean, there is V2.1 coming, which even allows you to have more transactions, smoother transactions, more interactions. We do have a 45 plus strong core team. More than half of that are engineers. So we are actually focusing on building right now, because as everyone knows, it's crypto winter. Even though we do have a runway of 1.5 years plus, it's still crypto winter. Well, I don't know if you want to call it crypto winter. It's still a bearish market.
That term. I hate the term crypto winter. I call it blockchain spring.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a spring coming.
Absolutely. I mean, it can get much worse than 2020.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a whole different topic, right? I mean, yeah, we've been in enough market cycles, and there's always something better coming. Like after a bear market, there's always, might not be a bull market, whatever you want to call it, but at least there will be better times coming, and that's why you should focus on building while everyone is crying around. We stick our heads in work and just build. Our engineers are creating, like, I think, the most valuable Web3 project or infrastructure everyone has ever seen. And we believe in that. I mean, that's our vision. We want to be here again. Doesn't matter when. We're not focused on short-term success. We're here to stay alive and to keep up with Web2 infrastructure. And to be able to do that, obviously we need to build a base layer for Web3, which I think right now doesn't exist.
So if your company is mostly made up of developers. Your office there is probably much like ours. When you walk into the office, nobody looks up from their screens. Everybody's busy typing, right?
I
So,
mean, they're good people. They
oh
it's
yes,
not.
fantastic, very talented also.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no,
let's
amazing,
say this
amazing.
so-called winter lasts for another year. What advice do you have for developers? I mean, absolutely, some of them might lose their jobs. Some of them might be in a company that is not sufficiently funded. it, I'm sure there's some developers listening to this call. So, what is your advice to a developer in an adverse market like we're experiencing it now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say just if just learn additional skills, because everyone knows the more you know, the better it is in the future. If you for example, I mean, that's just an example, but if you are afterwards able to support a game dev studio or whatever, you could focus on that as well. And many, I mean, everyone knows big gaming studios, they're focusing as well. They have their own teams. They might hire someone because they're well funded. I mean, all those gaming studios, I mean, they have so much money. They make so much money with all those Web2 games. I don't know how you want to call it, traditional games. um, they're still well funded. Other infrastructures obviously as well, but just be creative, I'd say, and don't stop kind of
Mm.
evolving, and don't stop learning new skills. And as a dev, if you're building an application, many projects they have grant programs. Scale has several grant programs actually, which help applications growth. So all the whole Scale grant program structure is more on growth incentivization. So I mean the other thing, right? You sometimes hear numbers, especially back in the days, that applications got on devs, they got like hundreds of thousands US dollar worth of grants, but at the end those grants they were needed to subsidize transaction fees, user transaction fees on the network, which
Well,
is nonsense, right? So it's like a grant, but the dev doesn't see anything of that because they need to subsidize that. And in Scale, given there is no transaction fees at all, we support applications building on us mostly with growth incentivization. So we help them grow together. We provide co-marketing. Some depends on obviously the partnership, but introductions to our early supporters. We provide them with access to infrastructure, with access to partners. Again, I think during these days, people and devs they just need to focus on building. If you have an application, focus on building. Do your research. What kind of where's sustainable to build on? Because we've seen a lot lately that people are moving over to us. I mean, good for us, but they've decided first to build on another infrastructure because they got a grant, but now they ran out of
yeah.
that grant, and they are not scalable anymore. They're like, well, how should we be able to pay for users transactions? And if they don't
Mm.
pay for subsidized user transaction fees, users they will just leave. They won't use their application anymore. So many of those projects they move over to a solution where they don't have any gas fees.
Are you the
And
only project on Ethereum without gas fees?
I think so. Yeah. As far as I know, I mean, you never. There are so many projects, new projects,
Yeah.
almost well, not daily, but
Yeah.
in the industry. And given we're focusing on what we are building, yeah, there might be some new projects which popped up recently. But so far, yeah, we're the only one with zero gas fees. Literally zero, not just cheap transaction fees. We have zero gas fees, right? Which is a different again.
That is fantastic. I actually wasn't aware of that. The version 2.1 is coming, you said. What other milestones are coming from Scale in 2023?
Yeah, I mean, milestones wise, I think it's always hard to tell. Also, depending on the market, right? If
But
there's
don't
like a
worry, I won't
crazy,
believe you're a developer. I will not believe any
yeah,
timeline you give me.
yeah,
I've learned my
yeah,
lesson not to believe software developers with deadlines.
me too. I don't believe that anymore. So no, I mean, what we want to do is obviously grow our network. I think Scale for what we can do or what we already can do. We're still kind of not like Scale as a name, as a blockchain infrastructure. Many devs they still don't know us, and that's one of our goals to kind of provide or to grow our name, the brand in general, that
Mhm.
actually more people are building on Scale. On the dev side, again, many devs they now with obviously with more applications building on Scale, like more prestigious one as well, and people they got to know Scale better also, like recently or this year alone, since we went live with V2. Many people they've heard first time of Scale, which is great obviously, but that's what we need to do. We need to grow the brand on within this whole crypto space, and even outside of the crypto space, like crypto. I don't like to call it crypto space because I think we're more focusing on blockchain technology. So whatever other projects are
Crypto is
saying,
getting
but
kind of a bad reputation these days, right? But
yeah, yeah,
that is okay.
definitely, yeah. No, so
I'm
that's
also
what we're
aware
focusing on.
I don't know if you're aware that Uphold, apart from having retail customers who use the wallet and big institutional clients, we also have a huge amount of gaming
Oh,
games that run on Uphold because of the structure of the internal structure of our wallet. We are
I
different
see.
from any other platform. So you can have master accounts, and underneath you can have other accounts. It's I don't know the exact intricacies of our setup, but we have tons and tons of millions of accounts of gamers that don't know that they are running on Uphold. So
Good that
I
we partner up then.
one of the reasons why our guys and it is mostly guys who pointed out the fact that we should do staking for Scale on Uphold and do a webinar with you. That is
Amazing.
entirely driven by people like João, my man in Braga, my chief contact there. So it's fantastic. I see now a very clear application with zero fees and instant finality. That kind of makes it perfect. If
Yeah.
and the Ethereum compatibility gives you access to so many users and so many skilled developers. That is like a good value proposition.
Yeah.
We got the roadmap. We got 2020. What do you think 2023 will bring? This is the end of the year. It's almost Christmas. We've had, not to put to find a point on it, an absolutely disastrous year, all things considered, from wars to inflation to panics to scandals to. Somebody did a little video animation. I posted this on my Twitter feed. That it's just fantastically funny. The year 2023, we went from one catastrophe to the next. Honestly,
Literally.
let's put an end to it. What do you think the next year will bring? Give us a hint,
Huh.
hint. Give us an optimistic outlook.
Optimistic outlook. All right. Well, I mean, I'm super excited what's coming, at least on the Scale side. That's that. Like I know what's coming because I'm part of foundation, like handling grants. So I know that
Spill
there
some
is.
alpha. Spill some alpha for our listeners.
I won't do that. But there's some exciting
Almost got you.
applications, almost. Um, but yeah, no, that's super exciting stuff happens. Obviously, then again, timeline is not just on us. We provide infrastructure, but all those applications they have their own timeline, their own roadmap. Depends on funding on their side, depends on talent, on resources they have, and how much they are able to spend in a short term or in a longer term or mid to long term. But on that side, on the application side, super excited what's coming on Scale. Industry wise, honestly, I just hope that people, well, that won't happen because it's people, that they actually focus on good projects and not just like falling for all the marketing other or like some nonsense projects have or do. So like actually that more people are doing more research about blockchain, that more people are getting into it, but also involved with it, because it's not just like if you trade. I mean, I don't want to talk about token stuff, but if you're a retail investor and you trade tokens, that doesn't mean that you know about crypto. I mean, you can trade whatever you want. You can trade with stocks. You can trade with penny stocks if you want to, whatever. But just trading crypto doesn't mean that you know about it. And especially as a retail investor, I mean, that's you normally lose because the big players, they're here to win. It's always been like that. It will be like that. And people that just need to do their own research. Obviously, some pumping tokens, whatever, might be fun for a while, but we've all seen it with several tokens just yeah, non-existing anymore, or going down. That's just because people they didn't do their research. They were just like jumping into the whole hype train. And I hope that, well, again, I hope it. I don't think that it will happen, but that people will learn more about what a blockchain can do, and I think that needs to be also like evolve over time.
Yeah.
It's not that everyone needs to know how blockchain works. I mean, I don't know how the internet like is set, like in general, like architecture. I mean, that's not what we it's just here and it runs. And but still, if you invest in something, or if you participate in a network, if you want to do that, you should also know how something is set up. So just as a that's what I hope. Literally, like people educate yourself about where you want to build, and what you want to use, and that's definitely
All right, you
one of
heard
the
it here
focus.
first. Keep building, keep the faith.
Yes.
Exciting things to come on Scale, and 2023 will be a lot better. Fabio, thank you so much for doing this with
Thank
me.
you
I
for
will
having
see
me.
you next year in Switzerland, and let's do something middle of next year, maybe in Portugal, warmer than it is right now, anywhere in Europe. This cold weather is just, has it ever been this cold? We had like a wind chill factor. It was like minus 25 Celsius I don't remember it being this cold in Europe. There's
I
an
mean,
Arctic front coming down that is really insane.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. It's winter.
All the
Everyone was
best.
complaining if it's warm, right? Now it's cold again. So
Fabio, have a wonderful holiday. Happy New
same to
Year.
you, Martin.
And I'll see you soon in Switzerland.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All
Thank
the
you
best
again.
with your team and your family.
Thank